This week, we celebrated 500 days of Trump's second term. 500. And how do we celebrate? Donald Trump's approval rating cratered to a net negative 25 points. It's not bad. It's historically bad. That is the most unpopular any president has ever been at this point in the entire history of the tracker that measures it. Donald Trump is statistically the least popular person to ever hold this job. And he got there in just 500 days. And we've covered the way he got here. Okay? The exact thing he promised to fix on day one, prices. Gas is over $4 a gallon, up about $1 from a year ago because he started a war with Iran to distract from the Epstein files allegedly. And of course, the oil markets did what oil markets do. And on inflation specifically, his approval is sitting around 25%. 75% of Americans either are undecided or don't approve of him on inflation. To put that in perspective, more Americans now say that the economy is worse under Trump than at any given point under the last guy. You know, the guy who inherited an economy coming out of a pandemic. But the reason I bring all of this up, after 500 days, with the worst numbers in recorded history, who is President Trump blaming? The Democrats, as he calls them, and specifically Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Barack Obama has not been president for almost a decade. Donald Trump controls the White House. His party controls the Senate. His puppet Mike Johnson controls the House. He personally appointed 1/3 of the Supreme Court. Republicans, specifically MAGA Republicans, run the entire federal government, top to bottom, every branch, every lever. No one else has their hand on the wheel except Donald Trump 500 days in. So why do you think this man who controls everything refuses to take credit for any of it? Why do you think that the most powerful person on earth insists that he's the victim of people who have zero power? Because he cannot admit that all of this is on him. He can't admit that the prices are his fault. He can't admit that the war he started is his fault. He can't admit that the numbers are his. He would rather gaslight the 300+ million people in this country than say the truth about himself. And man, I'm telling you, the president who used to have all the energy, remember they tell you he's the hardest working man in Washington, he's gotten lazy. So lazy that he won't even sell it. It's the same line every time. Biden did it. But now it's just delivered with all of the energy of a man that falls asleep in his meetings. And remember, this is the important part, action item for you guys. There are Republicans that are staring down the midterms, looking at these numbers. And some of the GOPers, they are saying, in their own internal numbers, there is a 9 in 10 shot that if it was a free and fair election, Democrats would take the House back. And there is a decent chance we take the Senate. So do me a favor. Let's make that prediction come true. This man has had 500 days, total control of the government, and he is at a record low approval rating. Your gas is over $4. So, do me a favor, tell me what you think our chances are in November. Despite all of his efforts to make this an unfair fight, can we take back our country? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think.